Okay, so I missed yesterday. I actually did pull for yesterday, but I did not post yesterday. I just was sitting in it, sitting in the energy. But I'm going to pull today. Today is the 15th, Friday of January, and we are feeling, at least I'm feeling, a beautiful influx of exciting energies. There's definitely something popping in the atmosphere. So some people are on edge, some people are uncertain, some people have lost hope, some people know that we're right in the crux of it, we're right in a really important time. So as the moon begins to wax, today's reading of the energy from the I Ching is hexagram 41, which is a 5, which is a change, a number of change. Okay, so let's look up at the summation first. Okay, so I'm using these cards by Lunia Weatherstone. Summation of 41 is decrease. Evaporation decreases water in the lake and disperses it upon the mountain. It is the nature of the lake to give of itself for the benefit of something greater. When one makes simple sacrifice for the well-being of another, the decrease brings no shame. Letting go of what has fulfilled its usefulness is another form of decrease that leads to success. Well, that kind of says it all, doesn't it? Letting go of a form of energy or chi that has run itself out. There's no shame in that. It's actually the natural order of things. Let's look at the deeper explanation. Keeping still, the mountain is above and the lake is below. Sorry, my stomach's growling and I just had a little bit of food, so you're just hearing that. This hexagram represents a decrease of the lower trigram in favor of the upper, because the third line, originally strong, has moved up to the top, and the top line, originally weak, has replaced it. What is below is decreased to benefit of what is above. That is out and out decrease. If the foundations of a building are decreased in strength, the upper walls are strengthened. The whole structure loses its stability. Likewise, a decrease in the prosperity of the people in favor of the government is out and out decrease. And the entire theme of the hexagram is directed to showing how this shift of wealth can take place without causing the sources of wealth in the nation and its lower classes to fail. Interesting. How this shift in wealth can take place without causing the sources of wealth in the nation and its lower castes to fail. Okay, so let's see what else is here for us. The judgment. Decrease combined with sincerity brings about supreme good fortune without blame. One may be persevering in this. It furthers one to undertake something. How is this to be carried out? One may use 2 small bowls for the sacrifice. Goodness, my stomach's so noisy. Okay, so the commentary. Decrease does not, under all circumstances, mean something bad. Increase and decrease come in their own time. What matters here is to understand the time and not try to cover up poverty with empty pretense. If a time of scanty resources brings out an inner truth, one must not feel ashamed of simplicity, for simplicity is then the very thing needed to provide inner strength for further undertakings. Wow, okay, so this makes me think of this last year where we've really got down to this scanty sort of feeling in the nation, but it has provided, like the decrease in the outer has provided for an increase in the inner, like in each of us. as humanity has been stepping up to open their eyes and to take part and take a look at what has been failing us, what has been on the decrease, that increases the upper. That's this power and attitude needed. Okay. For simplicity is then the very thing needed to provide strength for further undertakings, so for going forward. Indeed, there need be no concern if the outward beauty of the civilization, even the elaboration of religious forms, should have to suffer because of simplicity. This could be like the taking down of things, right? Statues and such. One must draw on the strength of the inner attitude to compensate for what is lacking in externals. Now, this has happened to this world during this lockdown time. Then the power of the content makes up for the simplicity of form. There is no need of presenting false appearances to God. Even with slender means, the sentiment of the heart can be expressed. So this has really been a stripping down to see what's at the heart of humanity. What is really there? If we strip everything else away, and we're just left with each other, what is the heart saying? So this has been this experiment of this time. This is the way the energy has had to move due to, remember, limitation a few days ago, limitation had been exceeded. So the Book of Changes is just talking about how energy moves, how energy changes. And that when things go all the way to 1 degree, like the limitations are pressed so far, remember, that the chi is eventually going to shift because it's overreached its natural limitations. So it's going to come back on itself. In fact, we could say everything that's pushed us to this brink has been actually helping to get the turnaround right now and get this freedom bell back on its feet. The image. At the foot of the mountain, the lake. The image of decrease. Thus, the superior man controls his anger and restrains his instincts. The lake at the foot of the mountain evaporates. In this way, it decreases to the benefit of the mountain, which is enriched by its moisture. The mountain stands as the symbol of a stubborn strength that can harden into anger. The lake is the symbol of unchecked gaiety that can develop into passionate drives at the expense of the life force. Therefore, decrease is necessary. Anger must be decreased by keeping still. The instincts must be curbed by restriction. By this decrease of the lower powers of the psyche, the higher aspects of the soul are enriched. So we can see even now with the calls for peace, and this even stating, hey, like, don't go out and be violent. Don't use your anger right now in an outward way, because it's going to decrease the energy. It's going to decrease the potency of this life force energy that needs to be fully directed at the change that's happening. So everyone's hearts needs to be in the right place, right? Decreasing the lower powers of this raw animal instinct increases the higher aspects of the psyche and the higher mind, and the soul is enriched by doing this. Okay, this is where we're at today. The lines. 9 at the beginning means going quickly when one's tasks are finished is without blame, but one must reflect on how much one may decrease others. Okay, so get a drink here. Commentary on that. It is unselfish and good when a man, after completing his own urgent tasks, uses his strength in the service of others and without bragging or making much of it, helps quickly where help is needed. But the man in a superior position who is thus aided must weigh carefully how much he can accept without doing the helpful servant or friend real harm. Only where such delicacy of feeling exists can one give oneself unconditionally without hesitation. So accepting help but also knowing when that's too much for someone else to do that needs to be done the self. So we can all check ourselves now, like how much are we receiving help or are we giving help, and where is the checks and balances there, making sure that the self is cared for. 9 in the second place means perseverance furthers. To undertake something brings misfortune without decreasing oneself. One is able to bring increase to others. So a high-minded self-awareness and a consistent seriousness with no forfeit of dignity are necessary if a man wants to be of service to others. Consistency of seriousness, no forfeit of dignity. Okay? He who throws himself away in order to do the bidding of a superior diminishes his own position without thereby giving lasting benefit to the other. This is wrong. To render true service of lasting value to another, one must serve him without relinquishing oneself. So this is also speaking to where the decrease is happening. Those who have relinquish the self in service of something else that isn't in balance, that is being checked right now. And there's been a lot of that. 6 in the third place means when 3 people journey together, their numbers decrease by 1. When one man journeys alone, he finds a companion. So when there are 3 people together, jealousy arises, or there's a tendency, right? One of them will have to go. A very close bond is possible only between 2 people, but when one man is lonely, he's certain to find a companion who complements him. So I'm going to change the commentary on this a little, because it does, to me, speak of if you're traveling in like a known group or a known tribe or a known people right now, like that you have been traveling with, there may be a tendency for some feelings to arise that have been building underneath, right, that need to be spoken, that might be harmful, because maybe there's some time alone that's needed to reflect and get to that place where you're reaching the strength in yourself, and reducing the outward activity. But if you've already done that and you're in the solitude time, then you're going to more likely attract those to you at this time that are in resonance with you. So that's my change on that. 6 in the fourth place means if a man decreases his faults and makes the other hasten to come and rejoice, no blame. A man's faults often prevent even well-disposed people from coming closer to him. His faults are sometimes reinforced by the environment in which he lives. But if in humility he can bring himself to the point of giving them up, because if in humility he can bring himself to the point of giving them up, he frees his well-disposed friends from an inner pressure and causes them to approach the more quickly, and there is mutual joy. Okay, so letting go of your previous faults with humility is important right now. This could be a cause of a coming together of some who disagree right now. 6 in the fifth place means someone does indeed increase him. 10 pairs of tortoises cannot oppose him. Supreme good fortune. So if someone's marked out by fate for good fortune, this hexagram says it comes without fail. All oracles, as for instance those that are read from the shells of tortoises, are bound to concur in giving him favorable signs. He need fear nothing, because his luck is ordained from on high. Wow, what an awesome confirmation. 10 pairs of tortoises cannot oppose it. So no divination, no magic, no dark spells, nothing can oppose. So this decrease is signifying all that materialism being drained out and accessing the true source of power, the true source, because the next one after this, the next hexagram is increase, okay? But so we're in the last line. 9 at the top means if one is increased without depriving others, there's no blame. Perseverance brings good fortune. It furthers one to undertake something. One obtains servants, but no longer has a separate home. So let's look at the commentary. There are people who dispense blessings to the whole world. Every increase in power that comes to them benefits the whole of mankind and therefore does not bring decrease to others. Through perseverance and zealous work, a man wins success and finds helpers as they are needed. But what he accomplishes is not limited private advantage. It is a public good and available to everyone. Wow. That one really makes me excited for some awesome energy coming in that I do feel. We're at the, that decrease that has released those things that hide the true strength. It's like a draining out energy. There's a draining out of everything that's not of service to humanity right now. And you can see there's some other governments in other countries, like the Dutch government resigned. There's Italian government, issues going down. There is a draining right now. So you can relate that to swampy things, if you like, but there is this energy of decrease that is referring to those things that have covered up the true strength. So, what an honor to walk through this time with you, to be present with you in the birthing of sovereignty in the human soul on planet Earth through the United States of America right now and on to the rest of the world. We are all in this together. Where we go one, we do go all. So hang tight, everybody. Trust the process that you are also a part of. So this hexagram today might speak to you in the way that is there decrease you need to allow in your life today? Are there things that have been maybe materialistic or things on the outside that have been taking the place of or covering up your greatness, the true strength that you are, that need to be, shuffled away, shed like the snake skin, to make way for this superior man, superior woman in you to come forth? And that not only will it be fortunate and successful in your life to do this and allow this, but it will benefit all of humanity to allow this decrease. That is the energy and promise of this day. So I relay that to you with love and with gratitude, my brothers and sisters. Till next time.